A post from r/loseit by brainlumpy4620 says, "Why do you actually want to lose weight? I was listening to a podcast on money and found it actually had tons of parallels to weight loss. They talked about how people who win the lottery often go broke quickly because they didn't take the time saving that money and develop the habits of a wealthy person, which is very similar to the concept of people losing weight fast and then gaining it back because they didn't develop sustainable habits." The podcast then talked about how a number in your bank account means nothing. It's more motivating to think of a concrete goal you really care about, you do once you have a certain amount saved, and then think about actionable steps to work towards it. Example, in 10 years I want to take my family on a month-long trip to Italy. Or in the case of weight loss, next year I want to be able to hike 10 miles with my boyfriend. Basically a future non-scale victory, which I think is actually really what we're all hoping for. Mine is that I want to have visible abs in every beach picture I ever take. Why do you actually want to lose weight? Adorball says, "I want healthy joints and I don't want diabetes." Handygal DIY replies, "Me too, and I want a healthy vascular system and veins that aren't under extra pressure." Advanced Fee 495 says, "I want to look hot." Regular Blackberry 164 says, "Yeah, same. Is it shallow? Maybe, but I don't care. Last time I lost weight, I was so confident and happy, and I looked good. I want to get back to that." Amazing Level 6659 says, "My main reason is I want to look better. I hate the roll around my midsection. My second reason, that I didn't realise would happen until I lost weight. I get out of bed without any aches or pains any longer. I feel really good now, and I don't want to go back to lugging that extra 30 pounds out of bed with me every morning." Radiant Mint Blossom replies, "That's the real win right there, not just the mirror, but the feeling. Waking up pain-free, moving with ease, and carrying less weight physically and mentally. It's more than looks, it's quality of life." Environmental Pop 1371 says, "In the beginning the switch flipped for me when after having 2 babies, 11 months apart, I wanted to be able to get up and down off the floor to play with them without having to use the couch to get myself back up. I wanted to get out of bed in the morning without grunting. I wanted to comfortably take the stairs at work to the 3rd floor without having to use the elevator. 11 months and 100 pounds later, I can now do all those things. Now my goals are more fitness focused and less scale focused. I want to run a marathon next year, currently in 10k range, so training for a half first. It's true, the end goal really helps." OKAD9820 says, "I ruined my daughter's day. I took my 5-year-old daughter to an amusement park and had to take breaks throughout to sit there and smoke while breathing heavy because I was approaching 400 pounds and smoking. The look she gave me said it all. I quit smoking July 2024. I'm down to 306 and successfully did a half 5k every weekend. I've been eating clean and she's taken many of my habits and is down 3 pounds herself." LN383906 says, "Quitting smoking and losing weight at the same time is such an accomplishment. You should feel very proud. I had to do one and then the other. I was not a fun person while quitting smoking, and I wasn't even a parent at the time. I agree that kids can be very motivating. Losing for me was great, but losing and staying healthy for my son was not easier exactly. But my excuses for bad habits started to fall apart when it was more about being in shape for him, to be a mum that could play and keep up." Aging Lolita says, "I want to be considered for an elective surgery. I want to at least control my fatty liver, if not reverse it. I want to keep my mobility as I age, and that means protecting my knees. I want to do interesting things without being exhausted or in pain. I want to have a long life, and for my son to be as independent as he can before I die." Twinkle Toast says, "I think that my main reason is that I want a body that can do the things I want it to do. Be that fitting into plane seats or amusement park rides, taking me on long distance through hikes, following along with my bike classes, walking upstairs, running a 5k, fitting into booths in restaurants or table chairs at uni, fitting into the kinds of clothes I like wearing, hopefully, being able to carry me through old age, giving me a better chance at successful recovery after illnesses due to injuries, medical procedures, etc. My second place reason would probably be to prove how much I can do when I decide to give something a good try, both to myself and to the people around me. I want to be strong, both physically and mentally, and I want to be able to do difficult things." CrazyLol says, "So that my thighs stop rubbing together so intensely." Numbers N Things says, "Honestly, I save quite a bit of money as I'm on this weight loss journey because I'm not sitting in a drive-thru twice a day. I want to lose weight just to be healthier, be able to go to amusement parks and fit in the seats with my kids, go to a water park and not feel covered or self-conscious, and to just be able to do stuff with my kids. We are always doing stuff, but I don't hike or anything a lot with them because I'm not sure I could keep up without being out of breath. Lord Lilith says, multiple reasons. I want to be and feel hot. I want to feel comfortable in my own body. I literally don't want to carry the extra weight. It's proven bad for my ankles. I want more freedom of movement. I don't want to feel like I'm dying when it's hot out. I want to be healthier. I want my clothes to fit better. My biggest problem right now is that I have a gut, so finding any fitting pants is so hard. Significant Gene 9639 says, I wrote a list. Here it is. My why for weight loss and healthy lifestyle. I want to feel lighter and fitter so I can move around more and do more, including running and hiking. I want to have more energy, better mood, and feel healthier. I want to feel comfortable and confident in my body. I want to be able to focus on things I care about, like keeping a tidy home and maintaining hobbies. I want to be respected in the workplace and in social life. I want elevators not to jolt when I get in them. I want my footsteps to be softer. I want to feel good in tight clothes. I want to protect my heart from heart problems. Firetech says, I'm tired of being the fat friend. MakerTrain8712 says, I want to at least once in my adult life feel confident and hot in a bathing suit. I also want to be around for a long time and do fun stuff while I'm alive. I don't want to have to say no to any experience because of my size. Sarcastic Bench says, when I started out just to look better naked, I also found a lot of imbalances in my body here and there that caused pain that eventually subsided when I worked on developing muscles all around because they became strengthened. Devastated Coffee Bean says, to find love. My mother used to tell me I'll never be loved unless I lose weight. She's been right so far, and I have this idea that if I'm skinnier, I'll be more attractive, and I'll have a nice relationship. But deep down, I know that's ridiculous and that my body isn't the main issue. I've just been unlucky, and weight loss probably won't affect my love life. Both ideas are equally horrifying to me. A part of me wants to lose the weight to see what happens. Another part is afraid and keeps sabotaging the whole process. Yes, I am in therapy, lol. Zero, that girl no says, I'm so sick of my legs touching each other and my stomach as well as my arms touching my torso. It's the most constant, uncomfortable thing in my life, and I just want it to stop. Exobiologics Kitten says, reason 1, honestly, is to look nice for my wedding. I want to go for a vaguely fantasy fairy theme, and it's hard to look like an ethereal fairy princess if you're built like an out-of-season linebacker. I figure I can't change my broad-shouldered bone structure, but I can get to a point of looking thin and androgynous, which still works. Reason 2, I'm watching my parents and aunties and uncles deal with health issues that are exacerbated by poor fitness / strength and carrying extra weight. It's scary. Even if I can't stay thin beyond wedding photos, I never want to lose mobility and ability to the point where I struggle with the same things they do. I don't want to be a sad 70-year-old who should be enjoying retirement, but is instead limited by back pain and bad knees. If I can maintain a healthy weight and keep my fitness and strength up, I'll count it a win. Biologic says, I want to travel without being terrified of being the person that spreads into my neighbour's seat, or getting the oh great eye roll when you get to your seat. Asleep Yellow 3 says, because I've been overweight for majority of my life, and at the ripe age of 32, I found out that I have ADHD, and it's part of the reason why I wasn't able to stick to any diets or routines long term. The only times I remember losing weight in the past was starving myself unintentionally and hyperfixation from the gym. Pink Monster 2000 says, at first it was to love myself more, but now, 25 female, I realised everyone on my dad's side of the family is overweight. They all have high blood pressure and diabetes. That's not the path I want to go on at all. Kwasi says, I want to gain back my confidence. I divorced and lost my job last year, simultaneously ballooning to my record weight from stress eating. I want to leave the old stuff behind and emerge from all of this stronger, more confident and hotter than before. I want to feel attractive again and find a new love. Handygal DIY says, for me it's not just weight loss but being healthier overall. I want to feel good and be able to do things that are harder or more uncomfortable, in my experience, with a bigger midsection, like riding a bike. I want to give myself the best chance of having healthy joints, best chance of being mobile and active as I age, best chance of fewer medications and medical interventions in my lifetime. I want to be able to take care of my family and my children and do fun, outdoorsy things with them. I recently injured my knees and have a new diagnosis of osteoarthritis, and I really want to be able to walk long distances, or maybe even hike, or dare I dream to jog, and have no problem standing for long periods of time again. I'm willing to do anything and everything I can to move myself closer to these goals, and I think losing another 33 pounds will help a bit, if not a fair amount. And less joint pain. Pain is a powerful motivator, as is the prospect of total knee replacement.